Hey, welcome back to my channel. Got it right here. Here it is. I can't wait to show this to you. My ultimate charging station. So I finally did it. I made my own charging case, and I have my reasons. I'll get into that in a minute. On this video, I would like to just go over the process that it took to get this thing together. Some of the things that I did. I have some photos to share. This should be really cool. I'm not going to get into like real detailed specifications and you know, things the chargers can do. And this is going to be, what can this case do for me? And why did I build it? So that should be a cool video. So stay tuned, check it out. All right, so the first thing we're looking at here is a nice robust handle to carry it. You know, this thing has a little bit of weight. I mean, it's, you know, it's not really that light. So nice carrying handle. I got this case from Harbor Freight during Christmas, or no, it was Thanksgiving sale. It was a good sale in Thanksgiving, and I got that for I think $20 off. So this is from Harbor Freight. And then I have an SO cable. I'm not sure how long I had this cable, quite a while. I have some, I found in the trash a battery charger, like a die-hard automotive charger. And it was just smashed in the trash. So I tore these off. So that's how I can get my cable wrapped up on these little ends that came on an automotive charger. And then SO cable I took off of a high-speed printer back in the day, and I put my lead on there so we can power this up. This cable's about roughly 8 foot. It is great length for, you know, plugging into generators or trying to get that outlet off the picnic table. You know what I mean? So nice length on the cable. And then on this side here, we've got an intake vent. So this is a powered intake. On the back, there's just pretty much nothing, clean on the back. And then we have an exhaust, so a powered exhaust. And then the bottom, so this is how I transport it in the truck. And then carry that along so you kind of get an idea. I'm trying to film. I'm not used to filming things this big. I don't have any beast class stuff yet. Hint, hint. Yeah, it's pretty big. So let's go ahead and pull the cable off here. First things first. So you can see this. I don't know if you've seen my stop motion video. I'll put that up top here. I did a stop motion video of this thing. It was really cool. Kind of had it cruising across the table and opening up and everything. So here's that cable. So good, quite a bit of length here. And we can go ahead and open up the case. Oh, man. So the first thing you see here is the Propsoff logo. So kind of got the channel logo on there. I mean, obviously, I put a lot of my hobby time into the channel. Things I do for the channel is, you know, part of the hobby, burning the midnight oils, if you will. So I really wanted something to show me. Every time I open this, I'm looking at that, and that's just, you know, kind of makes it kind of cool. But this is actually a thin sheet of plywood that I cut. So right over here, we'll grab some pictures. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think I did all right, you know, hand painted plywood, not too bad. So it's got a little 3D effect to it, which is kind of cool. And so next thing, so I was going to do like a pouch or a thing, but I tell you what, this is a Harbor Freight case, and the lid is somewhat shallow. If the lid was thicker, I might do a little other things, but honestly, it's all right. not too worried about it. So I have 3 chargers here. I've got the Toolkit RC M8S. So this is the S version. There's an M8, or an M8, and then there's an M8S. So this is the 400 watt Toolkit RC charger. This thing does quite a bit, and I don't really want to get into the functionality of these things. Okay, I don't necessarily want to get into all that, because this video is going to be 3 hours if I do. So we have our charging ports. So this would be on station 1. So this is a switch that powers up the box. Okay, so the charging case powers up here. And then this is section 1. Okay, so all of the things in this area come to life. This would be charger 2. So this charging port and this bounce lead port would be here on charger 2, charger 3. So we have station 1, which is also the power of the case. And then we have the 2 other stations. And then the case is illuminated with LEDs, and this is a controller for the LEDs. And this is also something I can put in my pocket and walk around with. And then we have outlets. So we have 2 120 volt outlets, and we have USB charging ports. And then we have a temperature gauge, the inlet and the outlet temperature. I'll get the camera up over top of this, and we'll look at other things. But let's go ahead and power this thing up. All right, so we got the charging case plugged in, and we'll go ahead and power up first power station here. And so the first thing that comes to life is this section here. So we have these 3 XT60s, and then the charger is on this XT60, and then the bounce lead. So just this and the bounce lead is connected to the charger. The amp reading and wattage is the entire circuit. So this entire section, the switch in this entire section, is being followed up with the amp reader and watts. I'll get the camera and I'll come in a little bit closer, but I just wanted to have you kind of see each power up. So this is power 2, so we're going to power up channel 2. So that would be this section, and then power up channel 3. Okay. So of course we can run these, and they are each 400 watts. So this is a 1200 watt system. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here for you so you can get a live look at it powering up. Alright, so as you can see, I worked on trying to get this laid out just nicely. So this is power switch 1. So when we energize power switch 1, we also energize the LEDs, the fans, so the exhaust, the intake fan and the exhaust fan. And then we power up charger 1, station 1. So this station here is everything that's connected to the DC voltage going through the system. So the charger, XT60 and bounce plug is for the charger. And then we have 3 XT60s that are powering up as well. And I'll get into that in a minute, but they're 5 volt, 12 volt, and 24 volt. So we have 2 more stations, 2 more amp and wattage tells, and then the LED controller. So we can Velcro that, put it in our pocket. You know, if we're at a whoop event or we're doing something and it's dark, I can run the LEDs and kind of play around with, you know, if I want it green or red or white or blue or a Propsoff. So, and then we have our. Sorry, it's kind of dusty. I've been working with it. 2 120 volt AC outlets. And then in the back here, I'll try to get a better zoom in for you. These are temperature gauges, so it gives me an idea what my intake and exhaust temperatures are. So I kind of want to keep track of, you know, in the summertime, you know, how hot is it getting inside there, because the power supplies can get kind of warm. So everything's on 40 amp relay switches, and inside we have a 12 volt 40 amp. We have a 5 volt 10 amp. Which is great for doing testing and stuff, and really excited about how this has changed the game for me. So there's the other two stations. So if I want to, basically we have everything aligned here, and I wanted everything in one section here because that way I can plug in, and then I can have an ammo can, or I can have I have a tin box that's have separations with fireproof drywall and stuff. That way I can just run in that one corner over here. If you're unsure how to parallel charge, I do have a video. I'll try to post here how I charge 10 lipos. So if you're unfamiliar with that, you can watch that video. But here's the thing. It really came down to I was getting aggravated. Not that I was upset with the hobby. It's just the fact that, man, the battery management is just unbelievable. And I'm not the guy that just flies 5S packs, or 4S packs, or 5-inch quad. Or I like to fly a lot of different stuff. I like to fly things that are 1S. I like to fly things that are 3, 4, 5. I don't have any 6S. I didn't jump into that. But yeah, I have lots of different batteries. And that was the one thing that just absolutely drove me crazy, is every time I wanted to go fly, sometimes I wouldn't, because I just didn't want to deal with the battery management. Or I wanted to fly the rescue drone and my 3-incher, but I just didn't want to deal with the battery management. I don't have a whole lot of hobby time, and when I do, I don't want to spend hours of it managing batteries. So this has definitely cut my time way down, because now I can land a pack and not have to have that specific voltage for for parallel charging. I can throw different packs on here. I also have my original rig. So this is my go-to rig that I've had for quite a while, and parallel charging was the game. So actually I can take this and add it to this game, if you will. So I just take this dude right here, plug him in, and then I'm ready to go. So I can run four separate systems. So after quite a bit of planning, as you can see here, let me throw a picture in, got a little schematic to show you. So as you can see, there was some planning involved and how I wanted to work this, and I tell you what, this has really changed it. The hobby is so much different now, because you don't have to it's not a regrettable situation to fly 15-20 packs and then get home and you have to get stuff ready, you have this, that, and the other. It's just life. Lipo management isn't getting in the way of life as much with something like this. So yeah, I don't know. Let's go ahead and show some of these other things and some of the adapters I've made. Alright, so the first one is I made this little adapter. So it's just a simple 90-degree adapter that I can plug here into my 12-volt source. So this now is outputting 12 volts, which is great for Whoop chargers. So I made a 3-out. It's just basically a 3-way extension, if you will, for my Whoop boards. Do I recommend these? I don't know. You're gonna have to take these with a grain of salt. They're quick and all, but they're not very accurate. And I have a couple of them that a couple channels will overcharge and undercharge, and I don't know. But for me, for the price, and I keep an eye on them, so I'm kind of hawk-eyeing these, or hovering, if you will, while they're charging, so it doesn't bother me too much. But you just plug these in. That's kind of nice. All of them get 12 volt. And the nice thing is inside we have a 12 volt DC output that can handle all the amperage that these 3 boards will take. So even on all 6 ports on 3 different boards, we can do the 0.6 amps. at high voltage of 4.35. So pretty nice to have that. And so that's the whoop charging. I can also run 12 volt DC out to LED strips or other things that I have that are 12 volt DC. Plenty of amps for that stuff. 5 volt. Alright, so in 5 volt I made this adapter, kind of a weird looking adapter, XT60, so we can plug into the 5 volt port. Okay, so now we've energized the end of here with 5 volts and it's capable of 10 amps. So I can test quads. I can not here on this table, but on a different one, I can plug in to a quadcopter that's strapped down with its props on, and put this through my voltmeter and run an amperage test. So it's pretty nice if I want to get an amp reading on some of my other little smaller quads. And then doing testing, instead of using a Lipo, I don't have to use a Lipo. I can plug in here and charge up the flight controller, or doing whoops. Got my whoop here. So it's kind of nice to be able to energize things on 5 volts to do diagnostics. I have here, I'll put a card. I have how to build a 5 volt, like a bench, 5 volt bench supply. So this is 5 volt out at 2 amps. Of course, this is 5 volt out at 10 amps. And so the same thing. And then I have something like this to plug into it, so I can run alligator clips too. So that's kind of nice to have, doing testing and stuff. So yeah, if you want to check that video out for that power supply. Alright, and then I also have a 24 volt. So if I want to, I can take my little adapter here. I have another one somewhere, and I can put it in a 24 volt, and then I have a 2 out extension. So if I want to, I can pop that on, and now I can run 2 other chargers. So I can run 2 of those, without this power supply. So if my buddy were to join me, we could potentially have 5. We could have 5 chargers on this with not too much of a problem. We're not going to be doing any major parallel charging or anything, but. So that's kind of nice to have. And alright, so yeah, we have 5 volt, 12 volt, 24 volt, and then also obviously we have the charger, and the bounce lead, so that way I'm not constantly wearing out the plug here. Real easy to replace these two, not so much that one. So that's kind of nice. If you want to, you could plug a Lipo. I mean, obviously you just plug your Lipo right in there, or you can plug in a parallel board. So I can have my 4S Lipo parallel board on this circuit, and then I can fire up channel 2, and I can run my 3S parallel board on channel 2, and then I can run my 1S parallel board on channel 3, or whatever, another Lipo or whatever I need to do. So very, very nice. Potentially can have quite a large amount of Lipos charging. And if you're not aware of Lipo charging and how parallel charging and all that stuff works out, like I said, I did a video. I'll try to put it right here. So if you have questions about how I charge 10 Lipos, go check that video out, and should help you out. So quite a difference in. I tell you what, let me turn the lights off so you can see it's kind of dazzling, isn't it? So now if I want to, I can run white when I'm working on stuff and it's dark. I got plenty of light. There's obviously a handful of other colors, and there's a driver down in there for the LEDs, and then I had to cut all the LEDs into separate pieces and solder them all together. So that was quite fun. I actually used some old Cat 5 wire that I had from a job I did and it worked out really well because of the wire being stiff. I didn't really have to do a bunch of extra, wire routing. It might look a little messy when you're down in here looking at it from above. The only thing is, I designed it so that the lid can be opened like a clamshell, and all the wires will go from front to back. So I can lift this lid quite a ways without tugging on any wires. But then when I lay it down, they kind of drape a little bit, and I don't really care. So yeah. All right, let's zoom back out here and look at a couple other little functions. All right, so we have our station 1. LEDs come on. All right, so we have station 1 on, and we have our 120 volt outlets here, and then obviously these two are for USB charging, so I can charge up via USB. And then also on the side outlet here on each end of here, we also have another USB outlet. So there's 5 USB outlet charging capability. So that's kind of nice. And then our inlet temperature and our outlet temperature, so 66 degrees coming in and then 70 degrees coming out. So we're doing a good job of keeping things cool in there. 0.2 amps, 5.2 watts. So the LEDs, the fans, and then the charger interface, things like that. So as I'm charging up, I can see the difference between the two. And it's kind of nice also because I could see whether or not, if it's just really trickling, I could just pull them and go. But let me show you the last few things here. So like inside, like the guts there, I think I'm going to do some pictures at the end of the build so you can kind of see some of the things I had to go through to get 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound box. So let's look at a couple last wires that I had to make this thing fun. So the first thing I had to do is make some extensions. So I got my extension cords here, and I just plugged this in. Now this is primarily for 4S. That's mostly what I run is 4S. So I have 4S extensions to show you, and so just basically plug in right here, and go ahead and charge that way. And then I also have an adapter, so when I do 3S and my other 4S, which is XT30, I've got a little adapter on the end here. And of course the bounce lead plugs in here as well. I have a video, and obviously a tool like that is what you're going to need to make these bounce lead extension cords. And I actually have a video on how to make this tool work better. Okay, so if you want, I'll put the link up here in the corner. I'm trying to do my best filming this thing. I'm not used to filming things this big. It's it's a little bigger than I thought it was going to be. So I actually have 3 of these that I run across here. So I can just jump in, I can plug in a LiPo, I can hit the charger on, and I can continue to fly. And then I can just rotate those packs and not run out of packs. So I can just fly until my eyes can't take it no more. So that's how that works. So obviously the charging station will check your voltage, and it'll check your internal resistance of your packs. Like I said, I didn't want to get into the specifications of this because this video is going to be enormously long as it is. But I do carry one of these. I do recommend getting one of these. So this is a LiPo checker, and this thing is really important because you plug your LiPo in, and like I said, that parallel charging video, how do I charge my LiPos 10 at a time, I show this. So I definitely recommend getting one of them. But that's my charging station. I tell you what, it's really changed the hobby immensely. I don't have that dreaded feeling of, man, I want to fly my 5-inch and my 1S. I want to fly multiple quadcopters. the lipo management keeping me or hindering me from wanting to go fly is gone. So I recommend, trying to get into something like this. I was lucky. I got a lot of this stuff on sale and none of this was given to me. This is all stuff that I had been saving up and planning for months. So I would like to do a little slideshow, if you will. So some of the photos of me cutting this open and, working on things. And I'm just kind of going to do a little picture show at the end here. But I just wanted to say thanks for checking out my channel and subscribing. And if this video is entertaining, I really appreciate a thumbs up and, hit that subscribe button for future content. And, if you hated it, man, you give me a thumbs down. It all works. Enjoy the breeze.